So we're talking sustainability, and we're facing a crisis which has to do with fresh water. I find myself talking to elected officials a lot, and this is in Canada and now soon to be in Washington. And to understand where we've come as a family and what you're facing as consumers, I'd like to talk the tale about Little Red Riding Hood. Now, if Disney made this, it would look very cute. But the reality is, in our lives as a species, we've had to face this, the bad wolf. So keep this in mind because I'll come back to it. I'd like to introduce, since it's a family event, I introduce my family, my parents, Philippe and Nanby. Now, I'm the 13th generation born in North America. And so when my kids were born, and nephews and nieces, that's the 14th, my parents said, well, you're going to have to give back. You're going to have to find a cause that's near and dear to you. So this is back in 2014. This is Estelle and Ariel. And they and my nephews and nieces that you can see here chose water. Now, I'm Canadian. We have a lot of water in Canada. In fact, my first reaction to my family was, what are you talking about, a water crisis? In Canada, we have so many lakes, this is true, we've lost count. The government of Canada does not know how many lakes we have. It's millions. We have rivers that are larger than many countries. We are home to almost, it's about 22% of the fresh water of the planet. Quelle crise, what water crisis are you talking about? Well, my children, nephews and nieces sat down and said there is a water crisis. And in fact, if you reach into your pocket right now, or your purse, and grab your wallet, and you feel the heft of all those credit cards in your hand, you're consuming about 5 milligrams of plastic, microplastics, every week. That means at the end of the year, 52 credit cards, equivalent of plastic, have gone into your body. But there's a problem, the microplastic comes in, the microplastic comes out, there's no issue. Well, unfortunately, it lodges in your organs. It's accumulating in your body. And if you're facing a newborn, which is usually a joyful occasion, it's not good at all. Microplastics in the placenta. So how many of you right now, statistically, have 52 credit cards of plastic in your body per year? It's actually 80% of you. And that number keeps increasing. All of you, I promise you, all of you have microplastics in your body. The question is, how much is there? So we, both the United States and Canada, are facing a freshwater crisis. Now, this is from the Toronto Zoo. And you may say, oh, look, there are ducks in here. But of course, the first reaction is, François, is the Toronto Zoo, it is dirty, the water, it's not like the rest of the water that we're drinking or facing. All right, this is Lake Winnipeg, one of the largest freshwater bodies in the world. This is Lake Erie, and right down there is Cleveland. You have algae, blooms, across every freshwater in North America. And of course, we're losing our sources of water. Unfortunately, we Canadians aren't tracking. You Americans are doing a better job of it. This is Penn-Desert Glacier, and you can see the tracking going back and back and back, and we're losing the fresh water, and of course, that has a direct impact on the ecosystem. We have unprecedented catastrophes, floods. This is from British Columbia, but you're getting the same thing here, south of the border. We have numerous regions that don't even have fresh drinking water in North America, which is utterly shameful. And of course, droughts, one end of the spectrum to the other. And remind yourself, we talk about climate change, but roughly about 97% of all effects of climate change are water-based. We're all living this. My team sent me pictures from New York when the fires in Canada, smoke coming down, it looked like Mars, but of course, you're having these fires all the time across the United States as well. So why should you care? Well, your body's under assault. Would you like to lead a long and healthy life? Your insurance rates are going to go up because, frankly, it's a for-profit industry. It's going to pass along the cost. Your health care bill is going to go up as well. And your grocery bill is going to go up. Quality of life will be diminished. And most importantly, those you care for, those you love, your children, are going to bear the greater burden. Time is not your friend. Now, we're business people. And a lot of us are going to say, François, I understand, but really, what's the return on investment here? Let's talk about financial. Well, this is where water stress will be greatest by 2040. And if you, my American friends, take a look at the United States. Now, frankly, when I speak in Canada, most Canadians have no freaking clue. Americans do. You're living this water crisis as I speak. Mississippi's capital is dealing with its fifth water crisis, leaving citizens with dry faucets. This is from last year, and the Mississippi is the 13th largest river in the world. On the friggin' river, no fresh water. The U.S. freshwater crisis could lead to Washington looking northward. Is Canada ready to quench its thirst? So, U.S. coming to Canada. Now, when I talk to Canadians about this, or even Americans, they're like, François, come on, you're delusional. No one's going to do that. Well, let's talk about Chicago signs $1 billion deal to sell fresh water to suburbs and other states that need fresh water. And this is from May of this year. The Great Lakes holds 80% of all fresh water in North America. What a great opportunity for us to pump it out. And I have news for you. If you put a pipe in the Great Lakes and pump it out, it's not a good solution. David Ulrich. Who is David? He is the éminence grise of the Great Lakes. He's an American. He actually sits on our U.S. board. And he has said, we have successfully partnered since 1909 the boundary waters treaty between the United States and Canada. If we cannot make this work between our two countries, it will not work anywhere else in the world. I'm a fan of Benjamin Franklin, who said that we must all hang together, or most assuredly, we shall all hang separately. We have to work together, our two countries. So how much fresh water do we possess between the two of us? 45%. My friends, those of you who are from USA or Canada, we are the custodians of the planet. And we're screwing it up right now. Water is blue gold. If you go to the UN website, right now, it all comes down to water. Climate change is a water-based issue. So remember that. So this brings me to 1970, and I'll make this quick. 1970, we had a healthcare crisis of fitness. My parents, this is my father Philippe, said, well, Nan B, we have to solve this issue. And so he launched a thing called Participaction. And basically what it was is pointing out that an 82-year-old Swede was in far better physical condition than a 32-year-old Canadian. Changed the mindset in Canada about how important it is to be active, hence why I'm so passionate about Gin TV. So how do we address the water crisis? We launched Aqua Action. And what is our purpose? What is our mission? Really, basically, we want to restore fresh water quality across North America. And what we do is we go to every mayor and we say, what are your top 10 challenges? Then we go to young entrepreneurs, university-based, and say, can you take technology and solve the freshwater crisis? So what have we done in the last 9 years? As a family, time and money, so we spent $9 million, $1 million a year, and we help, as a nonprofit, start for-profit companies that solve freshwater challenges through technology. We do what we call aqua hackings from coast to coast in Canada and now in the United States. 35 water issues addressed, 55 startups have started, 100 million in revenue, and all these companies export their knowledge base across the world to help solve the freshwater crisis. We've now, this month, come into the United States and are going to go coast to coast across the U.S. But the first one is with Northwestern Michigan College, and this is all addressing the Great Lakes. Launched just now. And you can see that you, all of us, are affected by the quality of our fresh water. So these young entrepreneurs are leaning in heavily to solve the crisis that we all face, that we, unfortunately, our generation created. I don't have the time to go through all this. If you're interested afterwards, I can tell you just 3 case studies of companies that are solving through tech the freshwater challenges that we face. But the faces of the future are here. And what's wonderful is to see these young entrepreneurs, 55% of them led by women CEOs, leaning in to solve the crisis that we, our generation, previous generations have created. So as a family, this is what our cause is, to help address the freshwater crisis. You remember the wolf? Remind ourselves that we took the wolf and we made him our best friend. We have an opportunity to do the same thing with this crisis. Claudette Commanda of the Algonquin Nation says that we borrow this land from our children. So each of us, each company here, our employees, our team members expect us to lean in. And so when you come home tonight and take a look in the mirror, you can say, how can you make a difference? Well, here's my plea to you. Help us create better ads. Help us give us media time so we can get the word out across the United States as we're doing in Canada. And also please sign up. Because when you come home tonight and you look at that mirror and you gaze in and say, why am I here? What am I giving back? It's not just to us. It's to those you love. We need your help. So please, take aqua action and join us. Thank you.